Okay, I'll be honest. I hate how Puerto Gato looks right now. Okay, maybe not all of it. There's areas that I still feel super proud of, like the cozy suburbs of Pico Verde or the enormous mines in the east. And some days, actually most days, I even just like to follow some Sims around town, whether they're driving to shop or riding the purple line to work, or even just walking all the way to Timbuktu. This city allows the opportunity for us to see how real life planning and political decisions can affect the lives of everyday people. As an urban planning student, that kind of depth really matters to me. Things like environmental challenges, gentrification, and rapid industrialization are all personal and part of why I love this series. However, when I begun this series, I bit off more than I could chew. I spent so much time in the planning phase, making sure to follow a realistic development pattern or the location of farms in the city, that by the time I got to placing the buildings, I was just in a zoning hurry. Plus the constant rotation of game updates and region packs and content creator packs kept me in a state of awe, but also just plain overwhelmed. Crescent Pines became a stroad graveyard, and Gato Square, I think we totally lost the plot there. Now with everything out and some time to let everything breathe, I think we're finally ready to reapproach Puerto Gato and kind of shape it in the way that I originally envisioned it. So today's episode is going to be a bit different. We're going to try and see what each pack has to offer. So that means we're going to be reimagining large parts of the city. We'll also use the region packs to create some cultural diversity in our city, the new Chinatown and Little Germany. We'll also use tons of custom net lanes and surfaces to make our main street a special place. But first, what do you want to see in the city next? Do you think our Chinatown area should be larger, or did I go overboard with the surface tool? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss how all this unfolds. But let's dive straight in. Hello guys, what is up and welcome back here to Puerto Gato. So today I'm going to be kind of honest. I am just kind of winging it. I kind of just want to see where it kind of takes me today, and I want to use all of the new assets, at least the ones that I have right now from all the packs that I have, and just kind of see how they kind of combine to fix some of our city issues. So as you can see, we got a few police issues. So we don't have enough police coverage, so we need to add that because of the update. But I also just want to add a little bit of density because right now we're kind of bleeding through money, and this is even with the 529 tile upkeep like decreasing it 50%. So I really want to kind of cease that issue. So we're going to kind of try and alleviate that. And I think what I want to do first is kind of look at this area right here, and this is kind of what made me kind of initially want to start this off, because I really don't like this street here at all. Honestly, I think I was just trying to finish zoning some areas out. I just always came back to this area and I was just like, I wanted to redo it. So yeah, we're gonna kind of redo that today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause the game before anyone gets upset here, and we're just gonna delete everything here, and then we'll just go ahead and extend all these streets. All right, and we got all of those roads extended there, and I think this is great. We got some nice little parcels we can kind of divide up here, and I think I want to turn some of these into some apartment complexes, or at least have some more denser row homes or something, because there's a lot of bus stations here. I mean, there's a BRT line here too as well. So I think this area would really benefit from those denser options because of the access to transit. I mean, this can get you almost anywhere in the city if you ride this one. So I feel like you want as many people to use the bus as possible. So this just makes sense. All right, and I think we'll use this and create some kind of apartment complex for this little weird area. I don't know what I'm gonna do right here, but I think at least for this little area, I guess I'll kind of square it off here as well. And maybe we'll just say this is the lot of the individual contractor, I guess. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll get a road that comes kind of right behind here. And maybe we'll just go ahead and put in some parking here as well. All right, decided to add some kind of combination of the Eastern European low rent housing here. I just kind of like these assets a lot. I think we'll try and recolor them in just a second, but I wanted to, oh God, okay. I wanted to add in some kind of like park area, just a kind of small one, maybe a pocket park here instead. Because I wanted to add one more little apartment building, but Let's see what we got here. We can add in maybe this urban pocket park, or actually let's just add in just the standard small playground. And then I don't know why I want to do this, but I'm just gonna zone in like a 2x2 office building, and maybe just say it's like the apartment building's office building. I don't know if that's gonna even work, but maybe I'll even just go in and find it and just grab that in myself. All right, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of Dome's parking and a little bit of landscaping here as well. All right, and now that we got those surfaces and parking added to that apartment complex, I want to add in another amenity for this community over here in Crescent Pines. Since this is a lower income area, I want to provide some access to like libraries and career placement things. So I'm going to place this welfare clinic right here at this corner near this bus station as well, giving everyone access to it. Went ahead and fixed some of that zone here. I'm going to add in a little bit of commercial here, and maybe we'll just stick to the northeast low density here. All right, and I think this is just a nice little area where they can just, right before work, they can go get their, petrochemicals if they need to. That's exactly what you need to go get right before work, and that's exactly what you need right across from you in this type of building. But we also got some chemicals, some more chemicals, and electronics. So yeah, you can buy any of that stuff here if you'd like right before work, and just like a nice little community area. So let's go ahead and continue on with this block here. And I think right here, I'm gonna stick with some row homes. I think we're just gonna go in with some of the northeast row homes. I think I really like that pack. So we're just gonna do some 1x4s here. I added in a couple of buildings here. I had a different northeast building here, but it was kind of like almost glowing in comparison. Like it was super saturated in comparison. So I got rid of that one, just add another one of these, and I'll come back and recolor some of these in just a moment. But I'm really liking how this is coming along. Like this is a really nice road. I think let's go ahead and move on to this one. And I think what I want to do is I want to just continue this with a pedestrian path, and we'll put on anarchy for this. We'll just kind of snap right there. All right, we got something like that there. And I think what we'll do is we'll put a little corner store or something here. So let's just kind of search for something that's nice here. And let's see, we got a 4x5 depth here. And I think what I want to do is have an alley that kind of goes parallel to this here. So we'll kind of, let me turn off parallel mode, and we'll just kind of go something like this straight through. And this is where we will place that new commercial building. I think I'm just gonna place maybe this one here. All right, and then we'll just kind of zone in a little bit more commercial here. And then I think right here we'll add in a police station. We'll just add this one in right about here at the corner. All right, and I decided to put the welfare office and the police station in the same kind of block here. Maybe they're part of the same project here. And I'll just go ahead and fix that those surfaces here now. All right, and I think at this current pace, this video will be, 4 hours long. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of blast out these last 3 little blocks here. So I think right here, we'll do some commercial, maybe some more commercial here, some medium density here. And then we'll do maybe one more low rent housing here. I'm not sure if I want to do the same Eastern European, or if I want to do the French again. But we'll kind of see how we're kind of doing based off of those first two blocks here. All right, we got some nice little mix of buildings here. So right here, I use the Southwest medium density to kind of create this custom apartment complex. Nice little road here in the center with a bunch of parking. Got a low rent housing complex here as well. Decided to add that in. I think that looks pretty nice right there as well. And then we also have, I put in a signature building here as well. But I think with all of that done, let's go ahead and move on to plan out our Chinatown. So for our next area, we are going to be doing a Chinatown district, and I'm pretty excited for this because this is adding some more cultural heritage in our city. Something that I think is kind of lacking. I mean, you can kind of tell where these buildings are inspired from, but I mean, these are, European, and these look very modern to me. You wouldn't be, I wouldn't say that these, I don't know. As an American, these just look pretty modern to me. But, that said, I wanted to add some, cultural, significance in our city. And I think El Camino is the perfect place for this because, the name literally translates to the passage. And I think this is where a lot of our immigrants, they are coming here for jobs, access to the industrial area. And a lot of Chinese immigrants during the Industrial Revolution and they're forward. They lived near areas that were showing a lot of industrial, promise. So we're gonna kind of do that today. So I think we're gonna do it right here on this section of Crest Street. I think this is a great little area because not really much is going on, and I think this is great. I really want to repurpose this. And if we look here, we had some access to light rail. So, this would really help a commercial area, which is what we kind of got with the Dragon Gates pack. So we're going to kind of use all of that, the Chinese region pack kind of to place some of these buildings in here. So I think what I want to do is, I think I'm just going to kind of scout for a region to place our new school. And I think I'm just going to place it kind of right here. So I'm just going to kind of pause the game and get rid of all of this. All right, got that kind of cleared out here, and we'll kind of find our Chinese Ruby Rock, I think that's what it's called, elementary school. Perfect, and that should kind of fill up pretty quickly here. Next up, we're gonna place another welfare building right over here. And so we're gonna place the Chinese region, or the Chinese kindergarten. And we'll just kind of place this right here. And maybe this is, a kindergarten and an elementary school. And we'll reposition this to where it faces the Sycamore lane. And I just like that better because I want these windows to kind of face towards the street. All right, and I don't want to add in another high school yet because if we look at our info views, we are kind of doing well right now. I mean, that would add a lot if we added in the Chinese high school. So I'm just gonna kind of ignore that for right now, and maybe we'll come back to it. But I'm gonna kind of fill the rest of this in with maybe some apartments or some row homes right about here. And maybe we'll do the Southwest one because a lot of Chinese immigrants moved to the Southwest, in particular California. So we'll just kind of say that we'll give ourselves some liberties here so we can have a better variety of assets to use. something like that here. I think now what we'll do is I'm gonna just kind of replace this all with the commercial here. I mean, this is pretty well connected to other parts of the city. I mean, this is probably acting as a connector, honestly. So we'll kind of put in some commercial here to kind of give it some more density, some more use, I guess I should say. So we'll just kind of zone in a strip of the Chinese or the Dragon Gate low density business. So I think I'll have to use, find it to kind of fully utilize all of these assets because we got 3 of the same one here and 2 of the same ones here. And actually maybe what we'll do is we'll maybe expand our Chinatown district this way towards the station here. Just have it continue right up until Pico Creek Parkway. So I might pedestrianize this road. We'll come back to it and see. All right, and so what we're doing is I'm kind of creating a little bit of an alley here, but I don't want this to be really accessible. As you can see, someone's already using it. So I'm gonna use this narrower alley just to kind of hide it a little bit more. I'll try and get as close to this building as we can. And actually, I think instead what I wanna do is I'm just gonna use a one-way alley. And then we'll just kind of fill the rest of the blocks in here, these little awkward areas. I'm gonna probably have to be pretty creative with these assets here. All right, and I got that kind of placed here. It looks kind of a mess right now, but I'm gonna place in some surfaces. Just for the time being, I forgot to install the Chinese inspired surfaces, so I'll replace these once I come back to the game here in just a moment. I'm just gonna go ahead and place this, and then we'll get a couple of parks in here as well. And I just love these pocket parks, man. They just really just brighten up a space. So we got that here. I'm gonna kind of see if we can recolor some of these. All right, and I think right about here we'll add in some Japanese medium density housing. And I know they're not the same, but I just want to have some more availability of assets. So, and some of the medium density buildings are also the same kind of brutalist style. So I'll kind of just try and match them to that. So hopefully you won't even be able to really tell. Got those kind of buildings placed here, and I don't know what I wanted to place here. I think I'm just gonna place maybe a little bit of commercial here. So let's see, what do we have? I don't want to use the same one here. Oh, I hate to do this. I hate to keep doing this, but some Japanese low density businesses as well. And it looks like a lot of these blocks are smaller, so maybe we can try and split some of these roads up with some alleys and get some more homes in here. So I'll make sure to place these in with no zoning here so we don't have any problems. And I think what we'll do is I'm gonna try and make this block a little bit more dense looking, I guess. So we'll use these more, I guess, modern looking buildings right here. And I'll just place these right here on Laurel. All right. And that should allow us to kind of split this block up and add a little bit more density. So what I'll do is I'll just, let's see, we got, I think this is about 9 units. So I'll go about here. And I think I'll use the one-way alleys again. So now that we have that road there, I'm gonna face some of these buildings towards Prospect and the rest towards this one-way alley. And I think right here, what I want to do is I want to add in a new tourist attraction over here. And I want to add in this traditional Chinese temple. We're just going to add it right here to Crest Street. I'll just connect this up with the pedestrian path and hopefully that's fine. And I always like to put low rent housing near, places of worship, maybe because of community involvement, maybe their leaders got together and they really advocated for low rent housing for new immigrants in the area. So that's why I wanted that here. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of this area out with the Southwest medium density row houses as well. All right, and I think the last thing I'm going to add in over here is some parking just to kind of accommodate for all of this here, as well as this being a tourist attraction and a place of worship. They would kind of want some parking. We'll just use this small parking building right here. Oof, but I just hate the little platform that it has. I wish it was just like this size but without the ramp, like you couldn't see the ramp. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to place this, but we're going to turn it around. So maybe where we can't see the ramp, but that also requires us, but we can still kind of see it. But it'll be okay. I'll figure it out. We'll place this more here. All right, got that all placed there. And I think this is just a great segue to our next little low rent housing complex. And that's gonna be right here. We're just gonna get the Imperial Heights with parking here. And we're just gonna place this right here. Because if we look, these buildings are kind of wretched. I mean, their rent is like what? I think it's $708 or something like that. It was peaking earlier. I think near this station it was higher, but you would see kind of near this spur of density. I mean, look at it. We've upzoned a lot. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and add that in right here. All right, and that has 720 households. So hopefully that can fit everybody that we needed to kind of fit in, because if we look, our population, it was at like 700. So I'm hoping that this kind of goes down pretty quickly. Got a little bit of development there, and I'm very reluctant to do this episode. I want this to be very special, and I haven't thought about anything here yet, so I'm not really gonna do this strip yet. So sorry if I'm like really putting you on the edge of your seat here about if I'm gonna do it or not. But I just want to really think this part out, because This has been here for a while, and I feel like, you know, this walking trail should be pretty important, and I want it to be a, you know, key part of the city. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping out for bikes. I'm waiting out for a bike update, because I think once that happens, I will completely rethink this entire city. So I'm just, you know, waiting this out. So let's go ahead and move on to our next fix. And actually, before I forget, I forgot to replace the taxi depot. So we're just gonna say that they upgraded and moved over here near all of the other kind of light industrial buildings that we have over here. So we'll just go to our transit panel and look for our taxi depot. We'll just place this right here. Boom, look at all those taxis. Quite an upgrade. And we'll just go ahead and raise the minimum fare and go ahead and put in the dispatch center. Yeah, we'll go ahead and raise the minimum fare to about like $25. I think the next area I want to kind of repurpose is right here. As you can see, we got a lot of complaints about the noise pollution right here at this intersection, and I just think this would be kind of a great area for some commercial. I'm sounding very pro-capitalist right now, but I want to, in that same vein, we're going to add in another Maurice's supermarket, and this is going to be our Chug Mart, and that's what I'm saying the Chugman produce company has kind of expanded into. So yeah, I'm gonna place this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just pause the game, and we're just gonna kind of get rid of all of this housing here. And you know, they're a rich family, so they can kind of do what they want. And I don't like to place this exactly on the road, because I think it's gonna cause some conflicts with, especially with this rail, or this light rail here. But let's kind of place it back a little bit. So we'll probably have to delete a couple more houses. All right, and then I'm gonna add in a little bit of parking here. Cool, we got that new supermarket now, and that kind of gives a reason why this tram stop is here. You know, a lot of people would need to work here, and so on and so forth. So now I guess I need to kind of cul-de-sac this road, and we'll just grab one of the ones with the tree. And actually, I need to pull this back a little bit, so we'll just make a little node here. And I'll just kind of connect this up with an invisible road. I like to do these here. I kind of do these usually off camera, but I like to just show you the details that I add in. You know, I'm kind of really crazy about this kind of stuff. Perfect. And now they've got that connection there, they should be able to unload all their orders and stuff back here and not kind of clog up this road here instead. So that's perfect. Maybe right here we'll just kind of densify this block here, at least this half of it. And I think I'll switch it up, and maybe we'll use the northeast pack instead this time. And I think for, you know, time's sake, because I think this video is going to be really long, I'm just going to go kind of do all of this block here as well. I want to get rid of some of these offices. They don't really make sense, as well as these houses. I don't really like them as well. So we're going to redo all of this segment right here. And I was having some OBS issues, so I think it kind of crashed when I was recording. So here we are. We kind of put in some German buildings because we had this German elementary school. So I wanted to continue the architecture down this road here at least, and just say that this was kind of how it always had been, because I kind of didn't really plan it well. But yeah, we got this nice little road here with some parking right in front, German buildings here. But now I want to go ahead and place a new leisure venue building right about here, right by the lake. And I think I'm just gonna place, I think I saw something nice here. Yeah, I think I want to use this Dockyard Lounge Park right here. And we'll just put it right here on Gato Drive. And I think what I'll do right here is I want to add in this steakhouse right here. Maybe we'll add it in right by this park and replace this kind of commercial strip we have. And I think right here we'll continue on with the, looks like more of the northeast pack here instead. All right, and now what I want to do is I want to connect up Gato Drive to the lakeside walkway, and I'm just going to use one of the small pedestrian streets. We didn't have this when I first started, so I'll just kind of snap onto the side of this here and connect straight in. All right, and I think I'm gonna downgrade some of this here. I think it's too busy with the amount of trees that we have. So I'm just gonna use the one-way pedestrian, or yeah, the one-way small pedestrian street again. And I'm just gonna kind of keep some of these buildings the same here. They've been here for a while, so they're kind of historic at this point. These ones were here since the first episode, so I'll leave them here for now. But some of these offices I want to change out because they only have 5 employees, so I want them to have more than that. So I'll kind of switch some of these out as well. All right, and I think we'll add in one more city service building. I think this is going to be another elementary school right here south. And we're just going to add in maybe just another German elementary school. The next area I want to kind of turn my attention to is over here in Ravenwood's Crossing. Still need to come up with a name for that. I keep forgetting to kind of think this through, but I want to rethink this. It doesn't really look rural to me, so I'm just going to kind of wholesale delete everything here, even this fire station. So I left these commercial buildings here and this the pub here as well as the small post office. Got rid of that fire station, but let's go ahead and kind of replace some of that stuff here. So we'll start off with the fire station, and honestly I think this firehouse is pretty nice. And honestly the police station kind of fits right next to it. Actually, maybe we'll place it down the street a little bit. Maybe we won't have them kind of huddled in the same area. And I think we'll just go ahead and replace this one here with the Japanese post office instead, because I just think this kind of fits what I want it to more, honestly. Yeah, I think that looks better. And then we'll just go ahead and add in a bunch of smaller assets. So we'll try and stick to about a depth of 3 units, because I want this to feel, still like a main street, but a more rural main street, a more, you can stop and enjoy, but you wouldn't really notice that this is like a natural highway. So actually, matter of fact, in that same vein, I think what I want to do is upgrade this road to have parking on it, and maybe we'll use the divided with the 2-lane parking. All right, got some of those buildings kind of fixed up again now that we added that parking, but what I want to do is kind of fill this in again, and we'll just stick to our usual southwest and northeast pack that we've been using. We may sprinkle in a couple more buildings as well, but that's pretty much what I'm going to stick to is here. I might also kind of sever some of these and have normal road segments just to kind of make it look more visually appealing. It looks like we got one Dragon Gate building here by accident, but I honestly don't mind it here. A little bit of diversity in the assets don't really hurt. Like, I think this looks pretty nice. Got a little bit of parking. We'll definitely come back to this area when we do detailing and stuff, but I want to do a wholesale replacement of all these houses too, and just do the northeast housing here, and as well as this school here as well. All right, added in way more density here. We extended some roads here, kind of sprawled out a little bit. Added in some more houses here, some more along the, I guess, bay here. I don't know what to call this body of water. As well as a little bit of density near the new school. I feel like that was kind of natural. So I got these little apartment buildings, a little bit of commercial. Maybe you can go get some coffee or, plastics, whatever that entails. And some a pharmacy, so that's pretty cool. So got in this nice little neighborhood. Oh, I also kind of added in some roads to add in some more houses as well. But let's go ahead and continue on to redesigning our main street. So the final area I kind of want to revisit here is right here in Cornelia, and I just want to revisit our main street. Right now we just have all of this kind of residential, these row homes, and while I like the trees and the little segments that I have here with the parking, I wanted to do more because this is like, this is what got me into this this map, and made me want to pursue this city, because I tend to redo things over and over again. So once I was starting to do this street, I was like kind of inspired to continue. So I want to revisit that and give it more attention again. I also kind of want to replace some of these houses again. They look very bland and uncolorful, and I just don't like that. I kind of want it to kind of pop and catch the eye. And just add in some more commercial, buildings here as well. Maybe some offices as well, because I think if we look at our info views, if we look at one of our mods here, our workplaces, we need tons of workers, and our underemployment is pretty high. So we'll probably have to add in some colleges soon here in our storyline, but let's go ahead and replace basically all of this. So I'm just going to delete all of these buildings here. All right, and that's a lot of buildings gone already, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fill those in. Let's just go ahead and fill these in with our usual Southwest and Northeast packs. I might sprinkle in some of the Eastern European commercial here as well, actually, because I really like that. And then I think I'll get an office and put it right here in this little corner, just to kind of fill this little spot up. It's kind of awkward here. So we'll just zone this in. So a 6x6 here. And that did not do what I wanted it to. So we'll just kind of play. Oh, actually, no, it did. Okay. So we'll just move this right over. And then we'll take an opportunity to see if we can place in another of our leisure buildings in. Yeah, I think I've kind of settled here on the lobster tail. I think this one kind of looks kind of like a barn, and maybe we can say it's inspired by our agricultural roots. So yeah, I think right here on Elizabeth, I don't even know if this is what this is supposed to be called. We'll place it right here on this corner. Kind of say that's why this bus station is there. I mean, look how many people are there. I guess they're probably all moving out because I just kind of kicked them all out. Let's see. Oh no, they're spending free time. Okay, so I don't feel as bad. And we'll just kind of fill out the rest of this area here. All right, got all those houses here, and I'm already liking this nice little corridor. Like, imagine like walking through here or even living down this street. Like, I think it'd be pretty nice. Like, if you lived here, you could go to the store, or you could work here. And what does it say? Records? Yo, yeah. See, this is cool. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and add in a little bit of parking behind some of these buildings here, just some alleys instead, some one-way alleys, and we'll put on anarchy, and we'll just go right behind here in the places where we can. Yeah, we'll just add this tiny city park right here. And then maybe we'll add just a small playground in as well. It's kind of like a little parks complex. I think that's great. So now let's go ahead and go south here near our city core. And this is kind of gonna be pretty hefty. I really want to redo a lot of this downtown area now that we have the new Northeast pack. I think that kind of is more aligned of what I want this to look like. I was going for more of the historic Midwestern downtown area, and this is just not it. So I'm just gonna kind of wholesale pause the game and just delete basically everything here in our downtown area. And that hurts me every single time I do that. I hate doing that, deleting all the buildings, but I kept all the historic ones. You know, we had this police station since we first started. This garage here as well, our fire station, as well as those hospitals, and this little building here too. I was reluctant to if I wanted to delete it or not, but this is a signature building, and so we can just say this is kind of tied to this storyline. So maybe some German architect, he built this entire building here instead. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to start off by kind of changing Ivy Street. And I'm just going to go ahead and change it just as a normal 2-lane road all the way through and get rid of some of this parking here. All right, and I want to place about 2 or 3 buildings on our main street of our signature buildings. Because I want this to feel pretty important as a pretty integral part of our city. And I kind of use this to kind of formulate the storyline from there on out. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through here and let's see what kind of signature buildings we can find throughout here, or maybe even some offices so we can get some nice ones here. I think what we'll first do is we'll have this little nightclub here. I think this will be pretty nice here on this corner. And then let's see here. Maybe we can get a museum and we can put this right here on the corner, or actually we'll put this back on this side here instead. Cool. So yeah, we got our historic train station and we got this museum here too. So I think that's kind of nice. Maybe this is becoming a historic district. So I think maybe today after this episode, I won't change this anymore. So we're gonna stick to that Northeast pack heavily because that is probably my favorite pack. And I think right here I want to have a post office. So I'm going to replace these buildings here instead. And I just think this modernist post office looks really nice. And I know we're burning through our cash right now, and I really shouldn't be placing stuff like this, but I just kind of wanted to look nice. And I'll just kind of get rid of this one here to say that we're kind of upgrading our facilities. And I think the next thing that I want to add into our downtown area here in Gato Square is a formal city hall. I think I kind of overlooked this when I was planning this, obviously because it wasn't unlocked yet in the skill progression tree, but I wanted to add in that city hall here because this is where the city would start, and this is kind of where you would naturally find this in these kind of small startup towns. So I think this block right here is a great location for it. I mean, it's kind of central to the entire area. I mean, right here is our principal meridian right here anyway, so I mean this is kind of exactly where this would kind of spawn at, and we can have kind of like a little park complex right here. I mean right now we have a gas station and 2 of these buildings, so I think we can probably go ahead and dezone some of these. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna copy this one here. I'm just gonna place it right here on this main street. And we'll put some kind of park complex right here for now, because I plan to probably upgrade to the larger city hall if I can find it here. this one because it kind of fits perfectly here. So I'm just gonna kind of, save space for that right now. So let's see here. All right, and I'm gonna add in some more paths throughout here, maybe some more parks in our detailing. The detailing is gonna be pretty huge, I think. But I think we'll go ahead and place in some mixed housing here instead of that green space, just because I think we already have this by the lake. And I just wanna continue this kind of theme throughout here. And I'll go ahead and fill in this block here as well. All right, got that block kind of filled out. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna get an alley that kind of goes behind all of these buildings here and through here, because it looks a little very open with all this grass here. So I'm just gonna kind of break it up a little bit. All right, and I think that's pretty much all of that area done. Let's go ahead and just finish out with this last little strip of land here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with some offices, make this like a little German town here, maybe put some low rent housing here. I wanted to provide some more, another homeless shelter for this district here, to kind of have one in every area, just to kind of accommodate, the housing crisis and the homeless crisis that we're having in our city. And that's kind of our finished downtown area here once again, and I am loving it. So I added in a bunch of offices here. I got this one gigantic one, so maybe that'll be a major character in this storyline. Got a little German pedestrian area here with a little low rent complex there, some apartment complexes as well. I moved the pub from there to there. I think it just makes more sense over here. But yeah, I think with all of that done, let's go ahead and move on to the massive part, the landscaping and detailing. And before we start off with our landscaping and detailing, I was looking at some of our buildings, kind of, brainstorming how I wanted to redo some of this stuff later on. And I replaced some of these buildings here, and I found out that our budget was kind of inflated. I had realistic workers and house places like that mod, and I think it inflated the wages. So it was really bankrupting us. It was like almost 10 times the amount for each of one of these city services. So we should be good now. I might have to replace some of these and double check to make sure the rest of them aren't as inflated. But it was the train station, the rail yard. I had to replace this freight port. I actually just replaced it with just a tinier one with one of Tygon's rail assets. So I think that makes a lot more sense over here. We don't have that much density over here at all. I mean, it's just wooded forest over here right now. So just wanted to kind of minimize that But I think for our detailing, I think what I want to do is I want to do something special on Main Street. Maybe go ahead and put some brick roads all throughout this stretch here, as well as add in a bunch of trees, some park spaces. I want to pull this city hall towards this sidewalk a little bit more, get rid of some of this fountain and the parking as well, and just kind of touch up some areas that we kind of revisited, fill in this little block here now that we remove the supermarket over here, added some trees in Ravenwood as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get at it. right, and that was pretty fun. So as you can see, I put some bricks right here on our main street all throughout or down here. I like it a lot. So I put two different types. So one where the parking is, one where the sidewalk is. I might do something else here. I put this little border here just in case, so I remember. I also made this little walking complex throughout here. It's not really, I don't know what it is. I just thought of some unique path that I have never done before. So this is kind of what I came up with. Added in some trees on our main street. Didn't really look at El Camino here. I need to come back and revisit this area. But added in some surfaces here in Chinatown district. And I think this looks really nice in my opinion. They don't have any China inspired textures or surfaces, so I used this French one, and I think it looks pretty nice with these tiles. So I think that looks pretty nice. Have some parking here as well, and then just added in some more trees here. So we jumped all over the place today in today's episodes, and I don't know if this was really like, you know, I don't know if this really moved the story along, but it helps me kind of picture better what the city looks like, and, you know, create more storylines now that it kind of looks how I imagined it. So I think this looks pretty great. So thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything you think I can incorporate into the city, please let me know. I love cities, and I really want to see how things can, you know, affect other things. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Peace. Goodbye. Dun, dun, dun.